Rise of the Dragon is the KVK which we just started, and this is the statue, right? Statue fight is always a great chance to warm up in a new season, and we're gonna use this statue to test out my new hero pair, which is Kinnara and Musiang. My Musiang is 5544. We are using Rattle Spear, which is level 1, and we are using Snow Peak Rock, which has 3-star concentration. Let's see how well we are going to perform, and I have to mention that we are using Kinnara as a primary with the control talent tree, right? Let's move and I will explain the idea of Kinnara with Musiang, right? Generally, I like healing in open field PvP for archers, and I'm just trying my best to make every single hero pair which I will be using in open field to have some kind of healing itself, right? Musiang has quite a good amount of healing. Plus, I'm going to add Advanced Chain Strike on my Snow Peak Rock, which means we're gonna have more healing from the War Pit, right? In the other ways, the whole idea of this hero pair, besides healing, is that in my opinion, both of them are control style, but Musiang also has healing, right? We all know how many and how much debuffs in general Kinnara does whenever you are fighting with her, and of course Musiang has one of the most rare debuffs in the game, which is healing reduction from the main skill, right? Which is really good debuff, and especially against Magrats and Zaidas, you have to be useful in every single scenario, right? And also that healing reduction debuff will be working amazingly well against Kuma, because, well, we all know that Kuma is actually tanky because of the life drain and healing, right? We are almost there. I just don't want to get caught by the cavalry players who are trying to catch the refilling legions, and hopefully, yeah, did I? Yeah, I managed to, yeah, I thought this cavalry player wanted to destroy me, but all good, right? Yeah, we are getting closer to the fight. I think I tried my best to explain the whole idea of this hero pair, and hopefully we're gonna see a good amount of merits. Also, of course, we're gonna use Race of Remedy in this fight, because why not, right? Everybody is using Race of Remedy. If you are not going to do that, you're gonna be weak, right? Even if you don't want to use this skill. And yeah, well, I said it many times, I can speak more regarding Race of Remedy in this KVK, because I believe long-range warfare and Race of Remedy is the best thing archer players can get whenever there is open field PvP, right? Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, this cavalry player just saw my name and, yeah, just wants to kill me or what, yeah. That's the first target. Yeah, it was just low HP. Let's move up and let's start to deal damage, right? Yeah, of course, we don't have long-range warfare, but the amount of healing we have with the Race of Remedy, it will be nice, right? And yeah, we have to speak that our enemy is FSK, which is the Strong Alliance. And yeah, they are basically tier 5 players all around the battlefield, right? And we are still tier 4. We are basically waiting for the Great Hates event, and I will be unlocking my tier 5 troops, right? And of course, we are going to make a video out of it for sure, right? Yeah, this is the fight against FSK. We are trying to test out how Kinnara and Musiang will be working around the battlefield, and hopefully it will be successful, because, yeah, it was my idea whole time, and hopefully it will be good, right? Yeah, we're gonna be targeting mages here because we are safe, nobody's actually touching us, and why not, right? Because for archer players, we all know that highest amount of damage we can deal is actually mage players, right? And yeah, some cavalry rushes, which sometimes time to time happen, it's still fine, right? It's still fine. So basically, I wanted to speak about Race of Remedy. I think that's one of the best archer talent skills for this season. because, well, we all know how well healing works with Magrat and Zaida, right? And the Magrat and Zaida is basically the #1 archer hero pair, right? I'm just trying to make out with the strategy of the healing, and because of developers of the game are creating more and more heroes with healing, such as Kuma, and I'm kinda expecting that whenever new archers will come out, they will have some sort of healing in their play kit, right? And I'm kind of hoping, because if that will happen, it will just prove that I was right all along, right? I was right all along. Yeah, we're gonna deal damage to mages, of course. And yep. I think I will be, it was obvious that I would get targeted pretty hard there, and hopefully we're gonna survive. If we're gonna survive, we're gonna heal up, I'm pretty sure, because of the race of remedy and the amount of heals we are getting. But we got taunted. Let's try to survive, right? Let's try to survive. This should be enough, and now we can deal damage, and we can see how well we can heal up, right? How well we can heal up. Unfortunately, our policies are not, we got heal up. My policies are not still fully completed, which means we still need some time in order to get full strengths for our hero pairs and our troops, but I believe we're gonna still be fine. We have pretty nice heroes all around the account. Of course, Kinnara is awakened, Zaida is awakened. Soon we are going to awaken Musyang. We just need like 10 or 15 more legendary tokens, and Musyang will be also awakened. And whenever Musyang will be awakened, this hero pair will be even stronger, right? Rage accumulation for Kinnara hero pairs means that we're gonna deal more damage to the enemy, right? Of course, as soon as we're gonna unlock tier 5 troops, we're gonna have a lot of PvP videos, simply because, it will be new style of gameplay for us, and for sure we want to try it out, and let's see how much merits we are going to get. And of course, after that we are going to compare the merits we got with the tier 4 and merits we're gonna get with the tier 5, right? Here I'm pretty sure we're gonna heal up a lot because we are dealing damage to backline, and that's the most perfect way of dealing damage. All right, 16k. Let's see. I think Race of Remedy should be healing us more, but simply because we have low amount of HP, we are not getting that amount of heals as we wanted to get, right? And I think this hero pair has a lot of promise. Unfortunately here, we need way more healing, and I have no idea from where we're gonna get. That's the Kinnara and Musyang. I almost said Kinnara and Nico, but no, that's the Musyang. I believe this hero pair will be workable. I believe this hero pair will get even stronger whenever we're gonna add advanced chain strike, and whenever we're gonna add awakening skill of Musyang. I truly believe this hero pair will do wonders, right? So let's see. Now we're gonna bring our best hero pair in the game for archers. That's for sure Magrat and Zaida. And meanwhile, we're gonna wait until Kinnara and Mu will be available for the refill. And of course, we're gonna try out more, right? We're gonna try out more. We're gonna need 2 more levels on Musyang, and Musyang will be basically maxed out. And there is nothing better in Call of Dragons than basically awakening legendary hero, which you know that it's a good choice, which you know that this hero pair is going to get you a lot of merits. For sure, that's the most perfect feeling whenever you are playing Call of Dragons, because like generally it takes a lot of time, right? It takes a lot of time to actually awaken legendary heroes. Especially, I believe epic heroes are pretty easy to awaken, and everybody should have basically almost every single epic hero awakened in their squad. These cavalry players are always weird, always hard to avoid, but we managed to avoid, and we are here with Magrat and Zaida. My best merit getter hero pair, with or without long range warfare, or even with the Race of Remedy, but this hero pair just does wonders, right? I'm gonna bring my Kinnara and Musiang, and meanwhile we're gonna deal damage. That's the Magrat and Zaida. Of course, this hero pair will have more merits than Kinnara and Musiang, but every single hero pair in my arsenal has a different meaning, different idea, and everybody knows what to do, right? So Kinnara Musiang will be for healing, will be for debuffs, and Magrat and Zaida is of course there to deal damage. That's the idea I have for my hero pairs. Yeah, I'm expecting way more merits with Magrat and Zaida. Of course, I think in the future I will make my Magrat awakened. So far she's 5551. Yeah, but I just don't want to spend the legendary tokens on Garrison skill for now. Maybe in the future it will be a good idea. But for now, I believe it's not that great, right? I believe it's not that great. And yeah, let's see, right? Let's see. Maybe in the future I will have a lot of saved up legendary tokens. And yeah, I will see if that will be the case, and I will won't gonna have to use my legendary tokens on archer hero, and I know that like some heroes which gonna come out is not that strong. Maybe I will think about adding awakening skill on Magrat, right? Plus we all know that from the next update we are getting desired heroes from G2 or from the gold keys which we're gonna choose. That's especially amazing for free-to-play players because finally, besides basic heroes, we are going to get the heroes we want from G2 generation, which is like I don't know. We have been asking for that kind of update for more than a year. And well, it's good that it's coming. It's good that it's finally here, and hopefully, a lot of players will be using that feature, which I think will have a huge impact on Call of Dragons and for the new players and for free-to-play players. Because yeah, basic heroes are nice, but at some point you understand that there is much more in Call of Dragons than basic heroes, right? Because every single new hero is getting a little stronger than the hero which we already had. Like every next generation hero is basically a little stronger. Only exclusion is of course Magrat and Zaida, which is basically G3 archers, if I'm correct. Yeah, G3 archers, but with the gameplay and with the merits we are getting, it feels like G10 archer, right? And yeah, let's see. Of course, using Race of Remedy with the Magrat and Zaida, it's not a surprise that we are not basically losing any HP in these fights if we are not getting targeted. And it's pretty hard to get targeted in this fight simply because we are pretty more than our enemies and we are just simply standing here dealing damage, right? And that's not that hard to do whenever you are fighting in this small circle. Of course, this is a small fight between pirates and FSK, which we're gonna be enemies in this KVK, and hopefully we're gonna have a lot more PvP and way more people around the battlefield than we are having right now. I'm just gonna share my thoughts and what I'm gonna do with the next archers which are going to come out. Like for example, in this KVK, I'm pretty sure I will have awakened Musiang, and then I will be starting to build my Falgrim, right? I will be building my Falgrim because I got Iron Tusk level 2, I got pretty good Barbed Manticore, I got pretty good Nico, and I believe I'm just gonna be working on Falgrim until new archers will come out, and I will have another great hero pair for skill damage user archers. It will be Falgrim and Nico. Basically, I have almost everything for that hero pair to work and for me to start working. Only thing which is needed to be completed is to have a good levels on Falgrim, right? Right now, Falgrim is, I think, like main skill is level 3, and that's it. Of course, I will make at least 5111, and then with the Lucky Spins event, of course, since I don't even have to spend gems on treaties and arrows, I can easily go and spend gems on Lucky Spins event, which gonna be great because Falgrim is a Lucky Spins hero, which means yeah, it will be easier for me to get legendary tokens of that hero, right? Which is pretty nice. It makes every single player to build and awaken heroes really, really faster, if you ask me. If the hero is from the lucky speech, right? Because at some point everybody will get tier 5 troops, and those tier 5 troops means that you don't have to spend gems on treaties and arrows, and that's a pretty nice idea, right? It's a pretty nice idea. So basically we are having a pretty successful fights here. Margaret just this couple of seconds lost a couple of percentages of HP. Now I think it's fine because all this time we have been healing with the Race of Remedy. I think Race of Remedy heal is basically done. And that's why we are slowly losing HP, but that's fine. We are winning this statue. We are also getting quite a lot of merits from these fights, and I'm honest, I believe that we're gonna be getting way more merits from this hero pair than Kinnara Mu, because that's the idea of Magrot and Zyda, right? That's the idea. Alright, I just want to target this mage. If we're gonna die, that's not a problem. We're gonna be using Kinnara and Musiang one more time because we want to test it more. Of course, as soon as Kinnara and Musiang will go home, that will be enough for me to see the merits, and we're gonna compare these two hero pairs, and we're gonna check how well Kinnara Musiang were performing together, which I'm expecting that it will be a pretty good result, right? Last time we got caught by cavalry player, which was rushing. This time, let's see, hopefully we won't gonna get touched by cavalry players, because yeah, they are just destroying ranged units. Doesn't really matter if you are having both of heroes, legendary heroes awakened, if you have maxed out Wish artifact, if you have maxed out Warped. If the cavalry single hero pair will catch you, which this dude is trying to do here, will be really hard, right? This guy, yeah, let's see, let's avoid, right? Let's avoid this alteration with the emeries here, and yeah, we managed to be safe, and we are getting closer to the open field fight, right? This will be the last try for this video, because we don't want to make the video too long, because sometimes it's getting boring to have a same fight. But yeah, I'm really interested to have more merits from Kinnara and Mu than we had the first time. I won't gonna introduce the hero pair and the artifact and the warped, because we have already done it. And yeah, let's start our fight. Kinnara Musiang almost awakened, Kinnara already awakened. Let's see how much merits we're gonna get. Well, for the Musiang, having like a debuff of healing reduction is great, because we are dealing damage to Garwood right now, and we are dealing damage to Kuma. And both of these heroes are healing, right? So, of course, Musiang will be perfect for Kinnara. And not only Kinnara, for these kind of fights, for this kind of meta, where healing is really valuable, I believe healing reduction will have a lot of benefits for the fights. Especially against infantries who are healing, and of course for the Magrat and Zydas, which are archers, for Magrat and Zydas, which are mages, for some hero pairs with Celestials who like to run with Tier of Arbon. Reducing healing will be workable in Call of Dragons. Right now, hopefully we will have enough time to deal damage to backline, which is nice. Especially amazing if we are dealing damage to mages, because yeah, if you want to get a lot of merits with archers, you have to try to deal damage to mages, right? Because the number of merits just skyrockets whenever you are dealing damage to them. Why, you might ask a question, why is like that? Because archers are having highest amount of physical attack, and mages are having lowest amount of armor, right? So that's pretty easy to understand why we are getting a lot of merits with attacking the mages, because we're just dealing damage, more damage to them than anybody else. That's the idea of archers versus mages. Somehow we are getting targeted, but that's fine, right? Let's see at the end of this fight how much merits we got, how well we performed, and something tells me that all the merits we're gonna get will be yellow merits, which is great, right? The yellow merits sometimes is like more than 12k merits or something, so it feels good, right? It feels good. we have to target the cavalry players sometimes, because when they rush, yeah, that's the way we got defeated twice already in this fight, and we don't want to repeat the same mistake. That's why we're gonna go back to square, we're gonna get some points, and we're gonna continue to deal damage to cavalry players, because they are a high chance of us killing. Yeah, we can see Garwood is here. What else? Madeline Garwood is also a healing infantry hero pair, so basically I believe that it's not a big surprise that Musyang is really valuable around the battlefield, simply because, well, healing is really popular in Call of Dragons, right? Let's not speak too much about healing, because I have been speaking how much I value healing in this game. Yeah, unfortunately we have more damage dealt against infantry players in this fight, but that's fine. What's the most important here is that our hero pair is basically full HP, which means we are dealing quite a lot of damage, right? That's always a great idea. And yeah, like generally my open field PvP playstyle is not to deal highest amount of damage, but to be more tanky, to stay alive longer, because if I'm alive, I'm getting merits. If I'm not alive, I'm not getting merits. It's as simple as that, right? We have to defeat these infantries which are standing on top of us, because they are not allowing us to actually deal damage to backline, which is not that great, but at least we are standing inside this square, which means we are getting points by fighting. And yeah, that's generally the way Call of Dragons work, right? At first you have to defeat infantry players, then you are going to defeat the backline, which is dealing damage around the field, right? Yeah, finally we have some damage. Let's see if we're gonna defeat this Thunderlin, which should happen or not. Yeah, managed to survive, but that's fine, right? Every single second is important whenever you are dealing damage to mages, because yeah, that's the heaven which you want to be there, right? Like, you want to be dealing damage only to mages as an archer player. But generally, when there is no long-range warfare, that kind of playstyle is getting harder and harder. That's why we are not having a lot of archer player base in Call of Dragons, because especially during the beginning, people are not having as much fun as playing with mages whenever there is open field fights, right? So it's pretty normal that archers are basically said and thought to be the harder role in Call of Dragons, and hopefully more players will start to play with archers. Well, I think when Magrat and Zaida came out, yeah, again, cavalry players are just rushing. Yeah, we got 100k troops left, but that's fine. That's fine. I have no idea how somebody is dealing damage to me there, but yeah, it happened. All the time, only cavalry players with one march rushing can deal that kind of damage. If they will connect to you, so that's also important thing to be attentive. That's why whenever you're gonna see cavalry player like rushing on your enemy, just target the cavalry player, because it will help your ally member to survive, and that's the important part, right? You have to help your allies because they are the most important friends in your game, because you are playing for the same cause in this game, to win, right? When you are fighting to win and you are playing to win. Alright, our legion is getting low. Well, I think even this run is successful, because we managed to stay alive quite some time, even though we were getting targeted by the cavalry players, actually twice. But yeah, I do believe Kinnara Mu will be quite a good hero pair, especially if we're gonna awaken Musyang. Honestly, it should work, right? Yeah, let's send these troops back home. It's enough, and yeah, we can easily go and check the reports, and we can easily go and check how much merits we got, right? So yeah, like, what can we say? We got targeted by the cavalry player quite a lot of time. That's why we're gonna have severely wounded units a lot, but still we are healing, and that's also a primary choice, right? 30k merits with Kinnara Mu. I believe this hero pair works, and it will work even more by the time we're gonna awaken Musyang, right? You can see Musyang is dealing quite a lot of damage. We are getting quite some healing. Also, Warped will deal more damage when we're gonna get more healing. So yeah, I guess you guys will tell me how do you like the gameplay of Kinnara and Musyang. I believe this is good. I believe this is workable, and it will get better whenever we're gonna awaken Musyang, right? Hopefully this was interesting. Hopefully I taught you something new. If I did, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody an amazing day, morning, and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.